Hello to all my Scorpio friends. Hope everyone's doing great. So there was a comment in the comment section which I really want to address, and that is, why are Scorpios into the cult or into dark things? And, I don't know that is exactly true, but what I can tell you is yes, Scorpios definitely have a tendency to go deeper. What does that mean? Why is it? Well, let's see if we can address it, because that actually is a very good reason. And if you're not doing it, and if you are a Scorpio and you're not doing it, you might feel unfulfilled. Let's say it that way, okay? Because your fulfillment will be coming from a different place, probably different than you would think. So let's just go into it a little bit. So what does it actually mean? Now, just, quick background is very basic, and this is something we can all understand. There are two basic levels of our existence. There's the outside, there's the physical material, and then there's the inside, which is energetic, spiritual, and so on. One we can see, one we don't see. What's more important? Oh, good question. Well, we can't live without physicality, but what is life without the energetic component that's within? Empty, because the energy is what fills the material. Let's face it. So without the energy, if someone tells you, I love you, it's a wonderful thing. But if they don't mean it, if the inside isn't there, do you really want to hear it? I think the answer would probably be no. I wouldn't want to hear it if it's not real or coming from a real place, which means genuine energy. And it's the same with everything. We would find we may not think of everything in those terms, but everything is that way. But you know the rule, you can't fool a Scorpio, okay? Difficult to fool a Scorpio. And so what does that mean in terms of energy, inside and outside? So keep this in mind. Inside, outside, physical material, internal energy, because it goes way beyond what we might think. In fact, the ancient Kabbalists and the sages spoke about it, and it's part of why we are here. And if you've heard me speak on other videos that Scorpio is connected with the energy of creation, which is why there's this power within the constellation of Scorpio. However you as an individual manifest it, there is this energy present. So let's read a little bit and see what it's actually speaking about. And I'm going to read to you from the text of Rabbi Isaac Luria, the writings of Ari, and we brought that up before. And he's the greatest Kabbalist, no question, of the 15th century. He made it possible for us to understand the wisdom of the Kabbalah. Again, not that he is that understandable himself, but again, his student made it more understandable what the Ari was teaching. And he speaks over here about what we call the sin of Adam, the sin of Adam. And I've spoken about this in maybe some other videos on my other channel, but not specifically how it affects Scorpio. So let's talk about it. So he says like this, I'm going to read and translate, because remember, pay attention to the words, the actual words from the Kabbalists. There's energy there. And if we want to connect to the internal energy, then just listen to the words, even if you do not understand them. It's okay. I try to press this point. Your soul understands and gets the vibration from them, and that awakens blessing in our life. במקום אחר הזה, כי עוון אדם הראשון בעץ הדעת טוב ורע הוא שלא בחר להתעסק בעץ החיים. What does he say? Something which does not make any apparent sense, but he says, what was the sin of Adam? What is the sin of Adam? Sin of Adam, was it about eating an apple of some sort? No. Some other fruit? No. Actually, the Zohar does mention grape. But grapes are a code for knowledge, okay? Knowledge. And knowledge is a spiritual level. So I don't want to, go into too many different conversations about this, but let's stick to what he's saying over here. He says the sin of Adam was that he did not choose the tree of life. The sin of Adam of the tree of knowledge of good and evil was that he did not choose the tree of life. What does that mean? I mean, was it about fruit? No. Was it about grapes? Well, yes, but not per se, not physical grapes. What was the tree of life, and what is the tree of knowledge of good and evil? Now we know, through the text that there was a sexual connection between Adam and Eve, which way they were supposed to have this intimate connection between them. However, exactly how and when, that was the question. And we've mentioned it in other places, but they were given the opportunity to create new energy, because this intimate connection is a power of creation that they were given. But they were given an opportunity to create with negativity or without negativity. Now, what does that mean, and how was that supposed to happen? Well, I'll tell you. It says they chose not to connect to the tree of life. Shehi chokhmat Kabbalah. What's the tree of life? He says over here something kind of odd. He says it's the wisdom of the Kabbalah. Yes, the wisdom of the Kabbalah is called the tree of life. Why? Is it only the wisdom of Kabbalah? The tree of life? Vezeu atzmo avona erav. He says this is also the same sin or the same transgression as the mixed multitude. What is this mixed multitude? Who are these mixed multitude people? Well, again, without going into all the gritty details, there were people who came out with Moses in the Bible story. They came out out of Egypt during the Exodus. Moses took them on. They were very powerful, high souls, magicians, sorcerers, all types of very powerful people of Egypt, and he took them along with. And they caused lots of problems along the way in this journey, so to speak. And they also built something called golden calf. Now, we can't take these stories literally. Golden calf represented a superficial connection to the force of creation, meaning with a go-between, with a conduit, okay? Not being able to connect directly, or they wanted a go-between. Now, I'll try to get into that. What does that actually mean? But he says this is the same. This is the same sin that these individuals created. And when they told Moses, you talk to us, Moses, in the time of the 10 Commandments, the revelation at Mount Sinai, they heard the first utterance, because it doesn't say commandment. It really says Aseret HaDibrot in Hebrew, which means an utterance, a saying, 10 sayings. And the first saying was, I am the Lord your God. What does that actually mean? One source. There's one source of energy, not two, not three. There's one source. Oh yes, it can have many colors, okay? There's one white light that goes through a prism, and there's many colors that come out. But in the end of the day, it's one white light that goes into the prism. Looks like many, source is one. Why is that significant? Because they said to Moses, when they received the first revelation, which is again, one source, there's one source. Not what all you guys are into. All you guys are into lots of different stuff that draw down energy. But the truth of the matter is there's one source. So what does that mean? And they said to Moses, no. Moses, you talk to us, please. You talk to us. Don't let God talk to us anymore, because we might die. Why would they want to die? Why would they think they would die? By talking to the godly force, by talking to the one. Why? Well, it's not so crazy, because we do it all the time. In fact, let's say we like something a lot. Maybe we like it more than a lot, but it's not so good for us. Let's say we like a certain food too much. We like donuts too much. It's not the real source of the energy. In fact, it might be missing a lot of stuff, but we really like it. And now our nutritionist or our doctor says, listen, you better give up donuts because it's not good for you. your, insulin, your sugar, your cholesterol, whatever. Give it up. What do we say right away? Oh, yeah, sure. But do we really want to give it up? Not if it's something you're really connected to. Let me better say addicted to. No. In fact, he said, I want you to connect to clean, pure, healthy food. The godly force. You will still want to connect the donut. You don't want to give it up? Listen, I had a student long time ago, and he had emphysema. And it's an extreme example, but, his doctor told him, listen, you give up smoking. He was in the hospital with a coma because of this situation. You give up smoking, or else, where did they find him? In the stairwell with a cigarette. And it wasn't a good situation. So what's the point? Whether it's an addiction, whether it's in a habit, whether it's what we're just very connected to, we don't want to give it up. We're connected to the effect of some energy because, is there something? Well, obviously there's a lot of gratification to that donut. Is it real? No, it's not the real source. In fact, when we don't connect to the real source, the effects are also going to be lacking something. They're going to be incomplete. So what is this really talking about over here? Is it talking about, well, it's God, it's a commandment? No. When they said, don't let God talk to us, Moses, no, we might die. It means we don't want to connect to the source. We're very connected to all the different colors coming out of that prism. We like it. We like this. We like that. And we're not interested in connecting to the source of everything. We don't want to connect to everything. I want to connect to one thing. This, I want to connect to that. I want to connect to that. And letting go of it would feel like death. And that's how we feel sometimes. When we really need to let go of something which is bad for us, which may be even harmful for us, for something which is really good for us, we might feel like dying. And that's what they were saying. And so that's the sin, it says, of Adam. Adam didn't want to connect to the tree of life. He wanted to connect to the tree of good and evil. What does that mean, good and evil? Well, Adam and Eve got wrapped up in the physical energy. They got wrapped up in the physical energy and forgot the source of the energy. The source of the energy was giving pleasure inside, outside, everywhere, to everything. But the physical pleasure was limited only to one area, one organ, in fact. And that was the sin. Sin in the sense of, oh, you did a bad thing, you did wrong. No, because the real meaning of sin is to pass energy over. We just pass energy over. That's literally what it means. Aveira, which is a transgression or a sin in Hebrew, means I pass energy over to physical part of this world or to negativity, okay? It doesn't mean to say that the physical part of this world is negative. It's limited. Yes, it's limited. It creates for us limitation. Now, the creator force doesn't want limitations because it wants to give us everything. The force of creation wants no limitations, wants us to have no limitations, wants to be able to give us endlessly. That's the nature of that force. We, unfortunately, without knowing any better, we choose limitations and we choose to become limited. So health can become limited. Our pleasures in life become limited. The good in life can be limited, not unlimited, but that is what the universe wants to give us, unlimited. So, okay. So what does it mean? What does this have to do with Scorpio and the dark side? Is it the dark side? No, it's not about the dark side. The tree of life, what is the real meaning of the tree of life? Well, I'll tell you. Tree of life is behind what's physical. Because again, as I said in the beginning, we exist in two levels. We exist in a physical life, but there's what's beyond. And what's beyond is not obvious. What's beyond is the secret of life. And that's why Kabbalah specifically has always been known. What is secret? Why is something a secret? It's concealed. Once it's revealed, it's not a secret anymore. It's not part of the world of the secrets. The secrets are the deeper meaning of things. Of course, secrets have two parts. Like everything else, there's duality. Remember? Duality in everything. And there's negative and positive. So the positive aspect are the secrets of the universe that are in control and there is, yes, a natural tendency, probably more for Scorpio, to desire secrets. And it's not only Scorpios, fortunately. I mean, it's other people too, to have a desire. This is called the tree of life, by the way. It's the deeper aspect of knowledge, of understanding, of literally the secrets of life, what's behind the scene, what's controlling things, how we control our life, how we can control our life instead of being, the victim of life. No, never. The victim of a constellation, the victim of, the effect of. No. We're not an effect of anything. We need to be the cause. This is what the Kabbalah teaches. But that's why traditionally it was always a secret wisdom or mystical wisdom that was concealed from the population. Why? Well, in more ancient times, people were on a higher spiritual level. We're not there now, today. But people, even negative people, were able to use spiritual wisdom in a negative way. Yes, there was that ability. But since we've descended in spiritual levels, and this knowledge can only be used for the positive, or not, it will not be effective to that individual who wants to use it in a negative way. It cannot take on impurity. It can, however, purify, which is the difference. So, yes, Scorpios have probably more of a deeper interest in the secrets of the universe? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. And that's why the tendency to be more interested in the secrets of life, which is what Kabbalah explains specifically, and why we have, thank God, so many of our Scorpion friends on this channel looking for more secrets. And that's an amazing thing. That's a great thing. So it's not that Scorpios are dark or looking for dark things. No. But that also exists, you see. And it has a drawing effect for many people. Occult, or meaning not in a positive way or dark, the dark side of things can draw people in because that's its tendency. It's like the natural tendency when you pass an accident on the road. It's like, we're looking. Why does it draw our attention? I mean, you can answer your own question there. It's not always something positive, but negativity has the effect of drawing our energy away from us. It's not giving us something. It's trying to take something away, and we shouldn't let it, okay? But positive things are more difficult. Negative practice has the effect of drawing people in, and sometimes it's hard to get away from, like addictions. It's easy to fall in, maybe, and hard to get out. Positive things, constructive things, positive, aspect like Kabbalah, maybe not easy to get into or to understand, and it's easy to fall out. It's sort of the opposite, between the dark and the light in some sense. So anyway, we need to understand the difference. The difference is what is constructive that builds and creates, and what is destructive and, brings down and destroys. I'm not the one to say what does what. I don't, you have to make that own determination for yourself. But suffice to say, it's clear why Scorpios tend to have more interest and be more drawn to things which are the secret, okay? The secret of life. And as it should be. As it should be. So, before we wrap it up, I want to say blessings to everybody. Thank you very much for your support in the channel and for tuning in. And, guys, the drill. Like, subscribe, share it with as many people as you feel necessary, because this way we bump up the algorithm, and this knowledge and this information can only help people, and it will bring more support to other people, and that's what we want. Be blessed, and I'll see you soon on the next video. All the best.